Hey everybody, Jake here, and I am going to commentate on the next couple of games in my league match. What was this last night against Mr. Missouriben? Now I am starting here because WanderingWinder was kind enough to record commentary while I was playing the first few, and he uploaded his commentary on the previous games. So rather than go through those again, I am actually just going to link the video below. And without further ado, here we go. So you can see the board. Notably, I am seeing replace. We've got Pixie, which means we also have Goat. And Margrave, of course, is always a pretty devastating attack. Well, I shouldn't say always, but it is really here, I think. Unless you block it with Guardian. So, I am looking at my options here, and with all of the trashing possible between the Replace and the Pixies and the Goat, I decide that opening Market Square seems sound. And I have opened with 2 Market Squares, and what is my opponent opening? Okay, so he opened Ports with Market Square, so I'm guessing he thinks the port split is going to be important. I hit 4, and actually, I should go into why I actually bought the ports there, because I don't think they're that important super early. I will want to get some. But the reason that I am doing that instead of, say, a silver or something is that I have decided that I am going to be trying to get in on these fool's golds. I don't necessarily even want too much gold with my market squares. Mostly I want the buys from the market square because I really want to be piling these fool's golds really quickly because I think that the money density from fool's golds is going to vastly outweigh other treasures because of the thinning and their money density being based on collision. I think that's going to be pretty easy to set up. So I am going to go ahead and probably gain the early gold here. 1, so Goat doesn't miss the shuffle, and 2, to eventually hit 5 so I can get a Margrave. Now, I do decide that it's not so important yet to start grabbing the Fool's Golds. If he were contesting me on the Fool's Golds, I might think about grabbing one early, but the Pixies are just fine in the meantime. So, he goes ahead and he hits 4 here. Of course, grabbing a replace early on is pretty appealing as well, especially for me because I can turn copper into fool's gold, which of course just makes it all the easier to do what I want to be doing. So you'll see here he ends up not actually following suit with what I'm doing and contesting me on these fool's golds. I do eventually go for them, and you'll see that he will not later on. But in a mirror where you would be fighting over the fool's golds, I'm guessing that you'd be spending your 5s on ball from time to time, but it's hard to say. So he grabs a Guardian, and I don't know. That's probably fine, because I do have a Margrave in the deck, but I was also at the end of a shuffle and I hadn't played my Goat. So if he was keeping track of that, I think he would know that the Margrave is not super likely to come out this turn. But he does have an extra $1 for this turn, so maybe that was his plan. Maybe he needs to make sure that he hits... Okay, so that probably wasn't it, but he does get his Margrave, and that's a pretty big deal. I go ahead and grab some ports, I think, because I am going to need those. And he is really pile driving these, and I'm okay with losing the port split. That's not a huge deal. I'm not okay with ending up with only 2 villages in my life, though, for the rest of the game, so I just go ahead and grab the 4 that I need now. I am going to be wanting to spend my terminals on Margrave and Replace. I want to be turning golds into provinces and provinces into provinces, all kinds of good stuff. But really, early my priorities now are going to be to start getting these fool's golds, because. And by the way, am I right to go for fool's gold? I don't know. I mean, is it faster or slower than some of the other strategies you could do here? I'm not really. I'm not sold, is what I'm saying. Getting regular gold and turning that into provinces with replace is of course appealing. Okay, so I go ahead and take a pixie instead of the fool's gold, just to top deck it, which makes sense because I don't really want to top deck a fool's gold. I hope I'm not about to. Well, I don't know why I took those ports. That seems like a waste of time. I don't really need more than 4 villages in my life. I'm just going to thin down to the point that I am playing the terminals that I have. And I have 4 villages with the ports. I really didn't need more. An extra fool's gold in my life would have been pretty nice and sped me up a little bit, I think, but that's okay. So he grabs some pixies. Why not? Pixie's fun. I haven't really declared, or committed to fool's golds for that matter, I guess. I do think that you want them here, and I decide that this is worth trashing the pixie over just to cycle to the good cards that are in this shuffle. And even though it will make them miss, I think I'll draw my deck. I believe so. Maybe not. But I can really start in on these fool's golds now. Decide to cause a bad shuffle. Just, why not? I also top deck a fool's gold with no fool's golds in the shuffle. Grab another marker. So, I probably did that way out of order, right? If I had played the replace, I get super lucky and don't get punished for it. So, I made a big mistake causing that terrible shuffle, and I drew, and I guess I had 2 fool's golds in it, drew a third one, and I don't really get punished for it. But I am deciding exactly what I want to do with this. Maybe it doesn't matter getting Margraved like I am. So, I'm really, you can see, waffling back and forth here. And I think what I end up deciding is that the best thing for me will be to thin a copper and then pick up another fool's gold, because this isn't going to be a great turn either way. I don't have plus buy, I don't have draw, so I might as well just invest in future turns by thinning the copper and picking up another fool's gold. Now, at this point, if I were Missouriben, I would be thinking about maybe starting to contest me on these fool's golds. There are 2 ways to deal with an opponent going for these fool's golds, and one of them is to contest them yourself, even if they're not the best card for your deck, and 2 is to end the game before the deck that has the fool's golds can consistently line them up and utilize its better money densities. So what he is doing appears to be the latter, where he is going to be turning golds into provinces and provinces into provinces with replace, and that's a valid way to try to rush to the game end. But in the meantime, I am building up and trying to get to these multi-province turns with my fool's golds. And a bunch of buys here. And again, maybe I should have thought about playing this replace to turn that copper into a fool's gold before I drew, but hopefully I'm thinking about doing it now, which is top decking a fool's gold. I decide not to do that, which is probably fine. I don't really need more money this hand. So what am I doing? Getting some more draw is probably totally fine. And some more fool's golds, and I decided to get a attack immune next turn and get a Pixie for some reason. I mean, Pixie is a fine card, sure. Not really sure if I needed it just there over a Fool's Gold. I don't know, it was probably not a huge difference either way. I don't really know if one more Fool's Gold gets me to like triple province or something. And waiting for the opponent to decide if he wants that Forest Boon from his Pixie. He decides not to take it, but he does play a Replace and trash a Margrave, and he turns it into a Duchy. I'm not actually sure why he did that, though, is the thing. One, I am immune to the attack. You notice I did not gain a curse. I have a Guardian out. And two, Margrave's a pretty good card for his deck. He's got so many ports. And also, he's not going to really win by... Oh, that's why. He thought he had to win this turn. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That makes so much more sense what he was doing. Gotcha. Forget what I said. He thought he had a 3-pile, but he was $1 short. So he goes ahead and takes province and state. And of course, with all the buys floating around and all the money floating around, I probably should have been more cognizant of the possibility of a 3-pile. And so I'm a little scared of it now as well. So probably not time to just get more Fool's Gold. It's time to try to get some points. The province and the duchy. Did the duchy make sense? I don't know. Maybe that duchy should have been another Replace. He gets a duchy of his own. The thing is, I think my deck is better right now than his is, so I don't think that stalling the game out by getting duchies is going to help him very much. But maybe he has a plan for those, and you know, I could be wrong about that. And at this point, I probably should have not just been AFK clicking on things. You know, because I could have drawn something. I guess, well, okay, so turning gold into province and then giving him a curse in the process, that's probably fine. Okay, so at this point, I probably want to check and see if I have a win here. And do I? Let's see. I think I do. Yeah, I do have a win. I buy one province, and then I buy all the pixies and all of the Fool's Golds. And that is going to pile in my favor. And that will take this game for me. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.